We are born racist. This is socially triggered, and today's video I will explain how we are all born racist and how that is not necessarily a bad thing. Before being a parent, I believed that children were generally good, and that it was society that corrupted them. You've probably heard the statement, the innocence of youth. However, upon having children, I realized they are born with very different views than what we hold as moral. Children need to be taught not to hit each other, not to lie or steal. For a child, these things seem okay to do. If a young child likes a toy, they will just take it. If they get annoyed by another kid, they will hit with full force or bite or scratch without any thought of the feelings of the other child. It is only after years of training where parents must literally tell their child what is good or bad that they learn to behave. Children are born racist. When I say this, I do not mean they pop out wearing a Ku Klux Klan hood or a Black Panther shirt. I mean that they are born with prejudices. In the children's mind, mommy or daddy are perfect and safe. Others that are different are not safe. Stranger danger is a real thing for young children. People that look like our parents we will naturally trust. And if our parents are white, then the child will have a natural tendency to prefer white people and feel safer around them. My wife is Korean, and when my daughter was young, she would naturally prefer Asian women. She also felt comfortable around white men while acting nervous around white females or Asian males. It was actually very surprising to see the behavior. However, as she saw more variety of people, her tolerance of different people increased. With my son, I noticed the same patterns. I realize this might sound like a small sample size and too much of a generalization to be made so far. I'm not only referring to my family, but I actually had similar experiences with other children too. For 3 years, I taught as a kindergarten teacher to very young children in Korea. My insight comes from having experience with hundreds of children and seeing their behaviors. But let's look at this from a common sense point of view. Often when people hear racism or the R word, they are triggered and start freaking out. Take a deep breath. Being born with prejudices isn't a bad thing. It's about survival. Children rely on their parents to protect them and learn very young to recognize differences so they can spot those who look like mommy and daddy or those who don't. This behavior is for their own safety. Realize I'm not suggesting racism is good. I'm just showing that we are born to discriminate, and it is over time that we learn to behave differently. As adults, we don't go around taking things we want, hitting people for little reason, or acting racist. Our upbringing teaches us not to be racist. Also, importantly, our exposure to other races helps us to be less fearful of people of different backgrounds. This is why safe spaces or any form of segregation only acts to encourage racism. Another mistake our society has been doing lately is to teach children of white guilt or past racism. It is better to stop passing blame or guilt and focus on the understanding of cultural differences and even allow children to be critical and vocal about assessing the strengths and weaknesses of other cultures, religions, genders, etc. When we teach children that you can't talk about differences, you are actually encouraging them to think that these differences actually make a difference. By learning openly and questioning everything, we allow children to form their own beliefs and opinions. Remember, there is also a balance of teaching them the basics of right and wrong. The point is to allow them to openly be wrong, even if it isn't politically correct what they say or do, because only through openness can we show them what's the right way. If they aren't free to express their thoughts, especially those we do not agree with, how can we possibly know if there's an issue? So I'd like your thoughts on this video. What are your kids like? Are your kids little demons, or are they virtuous beacons of light? Please comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you.